Assalamualaikum and greetings to everyone. Today we will present a documentary about Ibnu Khaldun, one of the most influential Muslim scholars in history. Ibnu Khaldun was born in the 14th century. He was a historian, sociologist, economist, political thinker, and philosopher whose contribution greatly influenced both Islamic civilization and modern scholarship. Through his observation and writings, Ibn Khaldun developed important ideas about society, politics, economics, and the rise and fall of civilization. His works continue to be studied and appreciated around the world today. In this documentary, we will explore his biography, roles, experience, major contribution, and the lasting impact of his legacy on Islam and human civilization. Let us begin our journey into the life and achievement of Ibn Khaldun.
Ibn Khaldun's full name was Abdurrahman ibn Muhammad ibn Khaldun al-Hadrami. Was born in Tunis, North Africa in 1332 Common Era. He came from a respected family that was involved in politics, administration, and education. From a young age, Ibn Khaldun received an excellent education in Islamic science, Arabic literature, mathematics, philosophy, and history. During his lifetime, the Muslim world experienced political instability, conflicts, and the rise and fall of dynasties. These events greatly influenced his thinking and encouraged him to study the causes behind the success and decline of societies. He passed away in Cairo, Egypt, in 1406 Common Era, leaving behind a remarkable intellectual legacy.
Continue explain about Ibn Khaldun roles. Ibn Khaldun is known as the father of sociology, and Ibn Khaldun is one of the great Muslim scholars. He studied social structure, social science, and the development of human civilization in a scientific and a systematic way. Ibn Khaldun is credited with being the first Muslim scholar to employ historical perspective seriously in Islamic scholar discourse. Next, Ibn Khaldun worked as a judge, lecturer, professor, government secretary, and political advisor. He also wrote a famous book called Muqaddimah, which this book became an important reference in sociology. This book also had a tendency to bring out various crucial sociology theories. Lastly, Ibn Khaldun had wide experience because he involved in political, administrations, diplomacy, and education in several Islamic countries. Ibn Khaldun not only studied history but also institution politics, form of government, and public institutions like the judiciary, police, administrations, and it developed in Islamic country including the economic system, trade, examining tax and custom, employment, craft, industry, art, and literature. This all experience helped him to understand social change and the rise and fall of civilization more deeply.
Next, I will explain about the contribution of Ibn Khaldun in terms of his ideas and movement. In terms of his ideas, the significant contribution was the development of Ilm al-Umran, or the science of human civilization. Through this concept, he systematically studied society, human behavior, and the development of civilization, making him a pioneer of sociology. He also introduced the concept of asabiyah, which refers to social cohesion and group solidarity. According to Ibn Khaldun, strong unity leads to the rise of civilization, while its decline contributes to their downfall. In addition, he developed a theory explaining that civilization go through cycles of growth, prosperity, and collapse. These ideas were presented in his famous work Muqaddimah, have had a lasting influence on the fields of history, sociology, political science, and economics. In terms of his movement and practical contribution, Ibn Khaldun was actively involved in politics, administration, and the judiciary. He served as a political advisor, diplomat, and judge in several Islamic states. Through these roles, he contributed to strengthening governance, promoting justice, and improving administrative systems. He also played an important role in spreading knowledge and encouraging critical thinking, which helped bring intellectual and historical reform to the Muslim world.
So, I will continue with the publications of books by Ibnu Khaldun. So, one of his most famous book is Al-Muqaddimah. Interestingly, this book was originally written as an introduction onto a larger book, what we call Kitab Al-Ibar. However, Al-Muqaddimah became so popular that it made Ibn Khaldun well known around the world. So, in Al-Muqaddimah, Ibn Khaldun discussed many topics related to society, civilization, history, economy, and also government. Because of its valuable idea, many scholars consider one of the most important books ever written. So, another important book is Kitab Al-Ibar. This book consists of several volumes and discusses the history of different nations, including the Arabs, Persians, Romans, Turks, and also Berbers, as well as the kingdoms that existed during this time. So, Ibn Khaldun also wrote autobiography, what we call Kitab At-Ta'rif Al-Ibn Khaldun wa Rihlatu Syarqan wal Gharban. In this book, he shared his life story, experience, and involvement in politics and education. So, in conclusion, Ibn Khaldun's books have made significant contribution to knowledge and continue to be studied by scholars around the world today. So, next, I will explain the contribution of Ibn Khaldun to institution. So, although Ibn Khaldun did not establish a school, university, but his ideas greatly influenced important institutions in society. In education, he emphasized gradual learning and believed that teaching should match the student level understanding. He also criticized harsh teaching methods because they could limit students' creativity and also critical thinking. In political, Ibn Khaldun explained how government rise, develop, and eventually decline. He also introduced the concept of asabiyah, which refer to social unity and cooperation as the foundation of a strong state. In economy, he highlighted the relationship between labor, production, trade, and taxation. He argued that excessive tax could weaken economic growth. So, overall, Ibn Khaldun ideas have contribution significant to education, political, economy, and also social institution. And his theory continue to be studied and applied for today.
I will talk about the impact on the development of Islam during Ibn Khaldun's time. So, during the time of Ibn Khaldun, the development of Islam had a significant impact on Muslim society. Islamic knowledge continued to grow through the contributions of scholars in fields such as history, law, theology, and science. Education became more important with mosques and madrasas serving as centers of learning. Islam also strengthened the unity and culture of Muslim communities across different regions. One of Ibn Khaldun's greatest contributions was his work, the Muqaddimah, which introduced new ways of understanding history and society. He explained how strong social bonds help civilizations rise and how their decline can lead to the fall of states. Overall, the development of Islam during Ibn Khaldun's time enhanced education, preserved Islamic heritage, and advanced intellectual thought, leaving a lasting influence on the Muslim world and beyond.
More than 600 years have passed, yet the idea of Ibn Khaldun continued to shape the modern world. Long before sociology even exists as a field of study, Ibn Khaldun had already explored the rise and the fall of civilization, the strength of social unity, and the behavior of human society through his famous concept of asabiyah. According to Sawyer and Gilbert 2012, Ibn Khaldun is recognized as one of the founding figures of sociology due to his theories on society, civilization, and social change. In addition, Alatas 2020 states that his thoughts remain relevant in modern social science and continue to influence discussion on politics, leadership, economic, and civilization today. His legendary work Al-Muqaddimah is still studied in universities across the world, especially in sociology, history, political science, economic, and Islamic study, proving that his thoughts were truly ahead of his time. More importantly, Ibn Khaldun showed that that Islamic civilization was not only built upon faith, but also upon knowledge, critical thinking, and intellectual excellence. Even after 6th century, his legacy still lives on.
In conclusion, Ibn Khaldun was one of the greatest scholars in Islamic civilization whose contribution extended beyond history into sociology, politics, economics, and education. Through his works, especially Al-Muqaddimah, he introduced groundbreaking ideas such as Asabiyah in human civilization. His theories have influenced institutions, governance, and academic disciplines around the world. Even after more than 600 years, his legacies continue to inspire scholars and proves that Islamic civilization was built on knowledge, critical thinking, and intellectual excellence.